What's up everybody? Welcome back to another Ross review. I'm your host, Jonathan Ross, and today on the show we've got a 2014 Mercedes Benz AMG CLA45. Now this is the entry-level AMG, but do not let that fool you guys. This thing is still a powerhouse, and when this car first came out, it held the title for having the most powerful production 2-liter 4-cylinder engine in the world. And with prices steadily declining now on this car, this thing is getting a lot more affordable. And so today I wanted to just bring out this CLA45, go over some of its features, test out its performance, and just see if this thing is still relevant today here in 2019. That's right guys, today on the show we've got the AMG CLA45, and I've just always loved the look of this car. Now I know it has always been quite controversial with its very low slung roofline, but I just love the look of sort of this coupe slash sedan, and I'm really excited to test this thing out today. Now just coming under the bonnet of this car guys, this thing has a 2-liter twin scroll turbo 4-cylinder engine, pumps out 355 horsepower and 332 pound-foot of torque. Now this also has a 7-speed dual clutch automated manual gearbox. So what's that mean? Well, this is essentially a manual gearbox, but a computer does the shifting for you. But you also have flappy paddles in there if you want to do it yourself. Now this also is all-wheel drive, and it'll do 0 to 60 in around 4.5 seconds. Now just even on paper value alone, this car is starting to look good. It's got all-wheel drive, it's got a luxurious interior, it's got a quick engine, and I absolutely love the styling of it. Now brand new, this thing was gonna run you around 90 grand. Nowadays on the used market, you're looking around 50K. This particular one has got only 42,000 kilometers, and it's up for sale for 48 grand. Now that is a pretty good value, I think, and this puts this car in arm's reach to a lot of people now. Now just coming up to the front of the CLA45 here guys, really like the front end on this car. You've got some of this brushed aluminum look in the front grille as well. All these sort of lines and bulges I think really suit the car. And you've also got bi-xenon headlights, which is a really nice touch. Thing I'm not so happy about is you've got this large Mercedes emblem here. It looks okay, but then you've got another Mercedes emblem literally 2 inches above it. Kind of weird, but that's what they did. Now just coming to the back guys, I really love these angel wing rear tail lights. I think they look really good, and they are LED as well. Come down, you've got a nice sort of diffuser type bumper down here as well, and then you've got quad exhaust guys, and this thing sounds good. Take a listen. Now inside the CLA45 guys, I absolutely love this interior. It feels really sporty and luxurious, and I think Mercedes has nailed that. You've got all this brushed aluminum in here, looks really spot on. These circular vents in the middle here just look so good. They've got a really nice weight to them, and they just feel so well built. Now, the wheel. This car has one of the nicest wheels I think I've ever reviewed. It's got a really good thickness to it, flat bottom, perfect grip, and you've also got these massive weighted flappy paddles up there that just feel really good to shift up in. Now, again, leather on the dash, red stitching, Recaro AMG seats, guys. This thing just feels so upscale. really high end, and the materials they've used just are top notch. These seats really hug you, they look really good and aggressive, and you also get this red sporty seat belt as well. Now we've got a moon roof as well in this particular one. Really, really is good. This thing covers basically the whole roof in here, and it's just a nice feature again. Door panels again, really nice. You got leather, red stitching everywhere. Just this whole car really is nice. Now the thing I will pick on, the radio. I'm not a fan of this radio. I know Mercedes has put this exact one in some of their really expensive high-end cars, but I don't like it. Infotainment kind of looks like an afterthought, but I personally don't mind the look of it. But it is not a touchscreen. You do have to use the scroll wheel down here, but it is not that hard to get used to, and it has pretty well basically everything you'd want. In the gauge cluster, really nice gauges, super basic, but they just look really nice. You have some aluminum trim in there, even some carbon fiber accents, and I actually just really like the simplicity of the gauges. You have a little screen in there also, which is fairly basic, but you know, you can change various things, look at various pressures, and it's not too bad. Now in the back, headroom is pretty tight, guys. This is the controversy with having this low slung roofline, is that the headroom is really non-existent. But I mean, the compromise for me personally with a car like this is that you want something that's coupe-like, sporty, but you still have the back seats for an emergency. And these are usable for an emergency, guys. Now, you wouldn't want to take 3 adults back there all the time, but if you had to in a pinch, you have the space. So let's get this thing out on the road and see how the performance weighs up. Alright guys, so driving the 2014 AMG CLA45. Now straight away, the biggest thing you kind of notice is obviously because this is an automated manual gearbox, there is a bit of lag. So when you fully stop at the lights or something and then you go off to move, the car does sort of have to process that. So it's not a huge process, but you can tell that split second of its computing and then go. You definitely would probably get used to this very quickly if you owned it, but it is definitely something you will notice the moment you drive it. Good thing though is you've got the flappy paddles here, so if you do just chuck this thing in a manual, it is really good. They're very responsive and a hell of a lot of fun to use. This exhaust sounds pretty good. I gotta give it to Mercedes. They did make it sound pretty nice, pretty mean and aggressive. You know, this isn't a V8 or anything, but it sounds all right. Yeah, boy! This thing does sound pretty good. I'll give it to them. This thing does have a nice note. You gotta be careful in this thing because it does go quick, this little sucker. It's got a little 4-banger in here, but man, does it go quick. Really does remind me sort of the Evo, but in truthful, this doesn't pull nearly as hard as an Evo. It's got all the characteristics, you know, you've got all-wheel drive, you've got a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, very similar 0 to 60 time, but this thing just, yeah, it is a lot heavier due to all this luxurious stuff in here. It really does weigh the car down, you can feel it. Definitely does not pull as hard as you would like, but nevertheless, this thing does move, and it's impressive. Man, it sounds like you've got somebody in the back just popping shots, and man, it sounds really good. I could do that all day. I could. You know me, guys. I'm a sucker for a good exhaust. Now, just with the ride quality, you know, I'm in sports mode, and this thing feels pretty solid. It's not that harsh, actually. And the seats are really comfortable. And very minimal body roll in this thing. And the shifts when you're in Tiptronic mode are just really fast. Oh wow, instantly goes down as well. And yeah, it is a really good transmission when you rev it out and when you use manual mode. When you just drive this thing in drive and eco mode, it's sluggish, it's not the best. Oh, this thing is fun. This thing is fun to drive. I gotta give it to Mercedes. They made a pretty good car with this. A lot of people don't like it, but I'll tell you what, it's a pretty damn good car. And this engine, you can't argue with this engine. Yes, it may be a little bit finicky, it may take a bit of maintenance, but hey, this engine won International Best Engine of the Year 3 times, guys. It's won it 3 times. So that tells you something. And the fact that this was the most powerful production 4-cylinder engine in the world when this came out tells you something again. Now these things are getting more and more affordable, guys. These things are definitely within grasp for a lot of people now to finance. And I gotta tell you, you know, I honestly feel like this car is worth the money. Right now, this car at around 48, 50K mark with low Ks in the trim that this one is in, it's worth it, guys. This thing is fun. It's loud, it's fast, it's luxurious in here. Yes, maintenance is gonna kill you. It is gonna be expensive, but it's a Mercedes, guys, and it's a performance car. So you put those 2 things together, it's gonna be pricey. But that's what you get, you know? So if you're gonna get a car like that, just keep that in mind, guys. But I still think this is becoming really a bargain. All right, I'm gonna finish the video off here today, guys. Huge thanks goes to the Lee Young Automotive Group once again for hooking me up with this CLA45. They really are an awesome group of guys down there. Please check them out. They're located here in Perth, Western Australia. I'll leave a link for them in the description below. So I really hope you enjoyed this car. I really do think this is still relevant today in 2019. It's an awesome car. I would definitely consider buying one of these. And the value of these has come down enough to I think they are acceptable to purchase now. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Please hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here. And we'll see you on the next video.